Okay then, so good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. The time is 2:02 p.m. Officially calling this meeting to order. This is our weekly business meeting. And before I go, well, actually attending in person are Commissioners Duncan and Fillios. Joining us by phone, Commissioner Bill Brooks. Dr. Keene, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Dorothy Cross.
Hi, who just joined us?
Dorothy Cross.
Hi, Dorothy. So we're just asking everybody to mute until their item is up, please.
Okay, off we go.
All right.
So then our first item is the consent calendar.
I move we approve the consent calendar as listed on our business meeting agenda for November 10th, 2020.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Payables list.
I move that we approve the payables for the week of November 2nd through the 6th, 2020 in the amount of $1,149,698.77.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Item number 6 has been pulled.
So item number 6 is pulled. Okay then. Moving on to the first of our action items, transfer agreement for snowplow, Post Falls Highway District, Parks and Waterways. Nick Snyder, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. Yes, this is a transfer agreement between Post Falls Highway District and Kootenai County Parks and Waterways for the acquisition of a used snowplow to mount to our 12-yard dump truck. I'd like to thank Post Falls Highway District. This was quite generous of them to sell this to us for $500, so we are able to plow Fernan Hill for the benefit of the snow grooming program.
Cool. Such a deal. Good job. Motion.
Very good deal.
Thank you. Motion.
I move we approve the transfer agreement for the snowplow from Post Falls Highway District to Parks and Waterways.
I second the motion. I can't hear. Something's clicking on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're having a it might be the weather, Bill. We're having a problem with the reception.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Yeah, you want a second?
He seconded. She was calling roll call, and he said aye. I heard him. Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Nick Snyder again, Second Amendment, item number 2, Second Amendment Harrison Breakwater Installation Agreement, North Idaho Maritime Parks and Waterways.
Nick Steiner again for the record. Yes, Commissioner, it is in fact another amendment to the contract for North Idaho Maritime necessary to install a log boom, an ice protection structure rather, in front of our brand new concrete breakwater that is now complete as of today. It will give it protection for movement of ice, so we do not sustain any damage. This is all grant funding, Commissioners, no general fund tax dollars being paid as part of this amendment.
Nick, how many truckloads of material came in?
I'm sorry, Commissioner?
You cited,
I didn't understand your question.
You cited once before the number of truckloads of, was it barricades or material that came in?
Specific to the breakwater, yes, there were 32 sections weighing 45,000 pounds each that were delivered from the Seattle area as part of our breakwater project. So they are now all connected and floating, tied together, and pretty much completed. So it's great news. This is just a final step to ensure that that structure is not damaged.
Cool. Thank you. Motion.
I move we approve the Second Amendment for the Harrison Breakwater Installation Agreement in North Idaho Maritime.
Second the motion. Bill Brooks? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 3, Memorandum of Understanding, also referred to as an MOU, piling and boom removal on the Spokane River, Lake Coeur d'Alene, and Idaho Department of Lands, Parks, and Waterways. Nick?
Yes, Nick Snyder again for the record. Yes, Commissioners, this is a simple renewal of an MOU that dates back to 2010 and then again in 2015 that memorializes our understanding with the state to remove any fixed pilings, not floating debris, but rather fixed existing pilings in the Spokane River corridor when they become a problem or if they are an issue to navigation. I want to be clear to the Board of County Commissioners, this does not obligate Kootenai County in any way to remove any fixed pilings. We did it as a joint project with Avista back in 2010. This simply keeps that door open from a permit standpoint with IDL to act on any pilings that may be a problem.
Fair enough. Motion.
I move that we approve the MOU for the piling and boom removal on the Spokane River and Lake Coeur d'Alene with the Idaho Department of Lands.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 4, award a badge, a duty weapon, and ID card for the retirement of Deputy Kelso and Deputy Skinlove, Sergeant Hall, KCSO.
Thank you, Commissioners. Kevin Smart for the record. Again, this is 3 significant deputies who have contributed a lot of time to the Sheriff's Office. As we come on to December, they're going to be looking at retirement dates, and so we'd like to set up to award their badge and their gun to them on those days.
Okay.
Okay. And this is a customary practice that we do. Okay. Motion.
I move that we approve the award of badge and duty weapon and ID card for the, upon the retirement of Deputies Kelso and Skinlove and Sergeant Hall.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you. Approval for the use of insurance money for the replacement of a vehicle that was damaged for KCSO.
Again, Kevin Smart for the record. Commissioners, I don't know if you recall, but we had a casualty of a wildfire in one of our vehicles assigned to the Detectives Division about a couple months ago. The insurance claim came through, and we would like to put that funding back into a vehicle that could be used again in the Detectives Division. So we did some checking around with the dealerships, located a brand new Dodge 1500 that's available immediately. It's for $25,754. Leaves us $6,000 to upfit it with the necessary equipment for that function. So I'd like to request that we go forward with that purchase.
Sure. So we're doing both then? Okay, and the insurance money and the purchase today? Is that what
The
you?
insurance was already tapped a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I
from
think we-
Cecilia's suite.
Okay.
Earmarked for this project.
Gotcha. Okay. And then was it a Panda that was lost or? Okay, and then you're going to replace it with a truck?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually cheaper to do that now with the price concessions that they can give at the dealership for a truck as opposed to a SUV.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Motion.
I move that we approve the use of insurance money for the replacement vehicle, a new truck for Detective Division.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Item number 7. Item number 6 has been deleted. Software as a service agreement with Cloud Computing Services and MDE Inc., KCSO. Take it away.
Thank you, Commissioners. Ward Crawford for the record. It does state IT on there, but I'm speaking for the part of the department. This is just a request to enter a service agreement contract with MDE or Managing Data Efficiently Incorporated. For the purpose of working with a new FTO or Field Training Officer software. This is on part of,
No, you're fine. You're
Okay.
fine.
I'll send them.
What's going on?
It's when Dorothy came on the line, it started. Yep, so I think it's when her item is done, we'll probably get rid of that. Sorry.
Go right ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. So, again, this particular FTO or Field Training Officer software will be applicable through the department for all 3 divisions being patrol, jail, and dispatch. So funding from the budget, and so we're not asking for anything on that. We're just asking for the agreement for signatures for the contract moving forward. I won't go any deeper into the weeds unless you need me to at this point for questions.
Just remind me, is this an ongoing thing or is this brand new for this year?
This is brand new for this year. It was actually, this kind of came to light in late August.
Okay.
I think literally like days after the budget was finalized, or we would have approached something maybe a little different, but that's as far as the timing.
And what's the application here?
It's a documentation for training program software, DORs or daily observation reports software. It centralizes that. It's hosted, so IT's all excited about it because we don't have to do anything there. It's a much more streamlined and much more efficient.
Okay.
Currently using a program that's based off Excel spreadsheets, and the 90s called and they want their program back. So we would like to move forward into this more centralized hosted service for all the divisions of the Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Motion?
I move that we approve the software as service agreement with Cloud Computing Services and MDE, Inc.
Second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Item number 8, thank you. Agreement for medical examiner services with Spokane County. Dr. Keene, our coroner.
I'm Warren Keene from the coroner's office. As we discussed in our last meeting, we negotiated with Spokane, and they agreed to extend our autopsy forensic pathologist agreement for another 12 months with 2 interim evaluations as far as performance evaluation and communication. They did put in some minor annoying communication things, but I think my deputies are well up to the task to do the kinds of things so they're not in any kind of breach of the agreement. And it's gone through legal, and they've given their opinion. I haven't seen it, but I know you guys have, and so I would like this to be approved so we can continue with our forensic pathologist.
So this extended to the, through December of 2021?
Right.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion.
I move that we approve the agreement for medical examiner services with Spokane County.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Dr. Keene.
And as a point of interest, they did increase our fees 13% for autopsies, and for testimony, 50% increase.
How often do we get testimony?
However often Barry needs it, I don't know.
I mean, historically, is it frequent? Is it once a year or?
I think Barry would have that information.
Yeah, that'd be something.
We actually have a contract with.
That, sorry, folks.
Yeah.
This is all going to get revamped hopefully by the end of the year.
Right.
Most of the time, it's on criminal cases versus, vehicular homicide, regular homicide, injuries, those kind of stuff, and suicides and overdoses would be that kind of information if he's going to prosecute anything. We've had a slurry of vehicular homicide cases coming up here this last week, and so he'll probably be going forth with those types of testimonies and stuff. And as we talked about last time, it may be time to look at a RFP for all of the work that I did on all those other agencies. I know there was a big discussion about law enforcement going to Spokane, but it's only 1/5 of our group because we don't control the budget for Coeur d'Alene or Post Falls or Rathdrum or Spirit Lake or ISP. And so if we had extra travel for our law enforcement, it would only be for cases that the sheriff was involved with. So I think that we can think about an RFP because I think we can save the citizens quite a bit of money.
Okay. Thank you. All right then, so moving on, excuse me, on to item number 9, contract extension for benefit consulting with Alliant Employee Benefits. HR, is it Dorothy?
Dorothy, are you able to call back? Because your line is really bad and it's really hard to hear you.
Okay.
Can you try? Okay. So let's do,
All right, let's skip that. We can go on
okay,
to
so I
10.
think she's doing 9 and 10. And
Okay.
so we can go to Stephen until she gets back on.
Okay, Stephen? So authorization to purchase toolcat and implements, bid solicitation, and this is from CARES grant funding. Go right, for the airport, go
It'll
right
be
ahead.
just a second, Dorothy.
Hang with us, Dorothy. Go ahead, Stephen.
Commissioner Stephen Kiergaard for the record. We finally did receive our CARES grant funding. We're requesting $80,000 to, out of that, 69,000 would be the CARES grant, 11,000 would be the airport's fund to purchase all the implements that we've discussed, and there's a sheet that has it before you. If we don't have to spend the full amount, we can go less, but the problem is we're transferring the toolcat that we have to buildings and grounds, and somebody's gonna have to buy them eventually.
This 11,000, was it earmarked for any grant match or anything like that?
It's just in our fund.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Motion.
I move that we approve the purchase of the toolcat and implements. And are you going to go out for bid solicitation?
Most of it is below the state law.
Okay. Using CARES grant funds and other airport funds.
I second the motion.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Stephen.
Okay, and then number 12.
Let's back up for
Well, number
Dorothy.
12 is his too, so we can get him out of here.
Oh, okay. So item number 12, transfer CARES grant funds from personnel to equipment for the airport. Go right ahead, Stephen.
Commissioner Stephen Kiergaard, for the record, this is kind of a housekeeping item, as how we got the grant money was by the reimbursing of staff costs. But we need to move that from personnel to equipment so that it's tracking correctly inside the county.
Dena, okay?
Actually, it's not exactly that way. So in 2020, personnel was reimbursed with CARES funds. So what that did was that freed up funds that would have been spent. So now that we're in 2021, those unspent funds are just in Stephen's fund balance. So technically, from an accounting perspective, this purchase would just be paid for with this fund balance.
Yep.
That money is already rolled over.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Motion.
So I don't know if we're not having a motion to transfer the money, and we already approved the purchase from airport funds. Yeah,
Well, it's just a different source.
yep, yeah. So we're good, Stephen.
Dave, you okay with that? Yeah, okay, good. Thanks, Stephen. All right, let's back up for Dorothy. Okay, so item number 9 again, contract extension for benefit consulting with Alliant Employee Benefits. Human Resources, go ahead, Dorothy.
Dorothy Cross for the record. It is a formality, really. They had assured us a year ago that they would not increase our rates, and this is confirmation that for the period from April 1, 2021 through March 31, 2023, their services will continue under the current contract, which is $7,000 a month.
Okay. And this is a 2-year period?
That they're extending.
Yep, okay, that's fine. You okay? Motion?
I move that we approve the contract extension for benefit consulting with Alliant Employee Benefits.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 10, 2021 renewals and costs, administration blueprint, administrative rate detail. This is the stop-loss agreement with Regents. Once again, Dorothy from our HR department. Go right ahead, Dorothy.
Yes, Dorothy Cross for the record. This is confirmation of the numbers that we already had in budget negotiations. The one good point is that stop loss came in less than we anticipated. About 104 annual, 78,000 from January 1 through September, the fiscal year. So a good deal for us. We saved some money here.
Thank you. Good news.
Yeah.
So this is our admin and stop loss, yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Motion?
I move that we approve the 2021 renewals and costs for the admin blueprint, admin rate detail, and stop-loss agreement with Regents.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 13, contract for the RV Park project. The project landscaping with New Leaf Nursery, Shawn Riley for the BOCC. Go ahead, Shawn.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Shawn Riley for the record. This is a contract for landscaping services with New Leaf Nursery in the amount of $27,709 for the RV park. They're gonna go ahead and put the trees in now and put the irrigation in, and then we're gonna hold back $500 of the cost of the project until the spring of 2021 to verify that the irrigation system is working correctly.
Do we need to put that in the motion?
Okay.
We're holding that back. Okay.
Do we need one?
We need a motion, it's just we don't need to put the hold back in the motion.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, go right ahead.
I move that we approve the contract for the RV Park project landscaping with New Leaf Nursery in the amount of $27,709.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion is carried. Item number 14, change order number 1, additional cabinets to replace the rubber base and parking lot striping at the Armory remodel project with Gino Construction. Once again, Shawn Riley speaking in this case for our sheriff's organization. Go right ahead, Shawn.
Shawn Riley again for the record. Like we stated, this is a change order with Gino Construction in the amount of $4,026.23. We're well under budget, and so some things that we would have liked to have had, but we were just holding back on, we would now like to add. So they would like to add some cabinets for the printer to the EOC, remove and replace some rubber base, and then the ADA striping has to be done for us to get a certificate of occupancy. We were hoping to get the parking lot sealed, seal-coated, striped, and all of that done, but with the weather as it is, we're just going to settle right now for ADA striping and signage in the lot.
Okay. Motion.
I move that we approve change order number 1, which are the additional cabinets, replace rubber base, and parking lot striping for the Armory remodel project with Gino Construction.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Item number 15, approve the purchase of a replacement truck for buildings and grounds. There you go.
This is a request to replace one of the trucks from jail maintenance that was damaged during that storm last couple weeks ago. And we're just asking that you approve this purchase.
Okay. And this is for funds with the
I believe it would be coming.
from the insurance plus some from your budget.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Motion.
I move that we approve the purchase for the replacement truck for building and grounds using the insurance money plus additional building and grounds funds.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Thank you. Item number 16, tax deed bids for AIN 128085 from Mackenzie, parties Mackenzie and Keener.
So the first one from John McKenzie of Hayden, Idaho. And this is the property in Metamont that is an actual cemetery, and it's next to the Metamont Grange. We have refused 2 other bids for people not adjoining the property. And this bid is for $843, once again from John McKenzie. And then this one from, let's see, it's A.J. Keener out of Silverton, Idaho, it looks like. Oh, double wrapped. It's definitely a sealed bid. All right, and this one is an offer of $1,200 contingent upon the removing of the cemetery restriction and tax exempt status. So my suggestion would be to reject both of these offers, and on Thursday's community development, that's when we are continuing the discussion about the Grange and the cemetery.
Okay. So David Callahan's aware of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the thing. They've been aware of the whole cemetery. I don't know if he's aware of these two
Oh,
bids.
okay, okay. Fair enough, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Okay, so then motion?
I move that we reject the bids for the purchase of AIN 128085.
Second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 17, Resolution 2020-79, appropriation of fiscal year 2020 contingency funds auditor. Dena.
Thank you, Commissioners. So this is the first of two resolutions that you're looking at today. The first one is for our contingency funds. We used very little of our contingency funds in FY 2020, and this resolution closes out fiscal year 2020 and shows that we spent $15,000 in the general fund contingency and $12,900 in the justice fund contingency. So our total back to the general fund balance is $235,000 in the general fund and $287,100 in the justice fund, for a total of $522,100.
Okay, motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2020-79, which is the appropriation of fiscal year 2020 contingency funds.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion's carried. Final item, 18, Resolution 2020-80, carryover of fiscal year 20 capital project funding. Once again, Dena.
Thank you, Commissioners. This resolution, I have a list, a colored list that I left for you that spells out the detail of what's rolling forward. There are a few items on here that are COVID related. They say COVID delay on them. They were B budget items that are rolling forward because the delivery of those items were delayed, and they were material enough to the department that we felt with our criteria we should roll those forward. We do that on occasion. We don't do it all the time, but we do it on occasion. So I've included those items here. It's also spelled out on the resolution for your approval. These items will roll into FY 21 and will increase the budget by the amount at the bottom. Let's see, $7,795,000. Yes, that will be the additional capital amount in the budget for 2021.
So, Dena, when you say they're being rolled over, does that mean that CFAC has actually approved our rolling these over because the work?
This
Go
is separate from CFAC. So these are ongoing capital projects that we were working on in FY 20, and they're not done yet. So we're taking the budget money from FY 20 and we're picking it up and we're rolling it into FY 21 so that those ongoing projects can be continued. These aren't related to COVID.
Oh,
This is
okay.
just an annual formality that we do
Understood,
to close the
understood.
year out.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 0 for the carryover of FY 20 capital project funding.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. That concludes for our agenda this afternoon, public comment. Jim, you want to come forward, please, so we can get you on the mic?
For the record, I'm Jim Stafford. I just was after a clarification on this memorandum of understanding on the pilings. We've always been told in the river that there was no way, because there are a lot of dangerous pilings and things on the river, and we've always been told that we couldn't remove them because the Department of Land wouldn't let you remove them.
Jurisdiction.
But I interpret this to say that if you guys determined there was some safety issue with those, that it could be removed?
So that's a good question. Let me see if I can get you.
Let's pull it up.
Answer.
That's item number 3.
Okay, so it's to allow the county to remove pilings deemed by the county to be hazardous to navigation in the Spokane River and Lake Coeur d'Alene with the express permission of the state to enhance public education about navigation. So this does not mean that we are going to do that. It just means that we have permission to do that. I think it's more of an emergency type basis where something changes. And so we need to get out there, and we can do it faster and easier than IDL can.
But, they've been there for years, and people run their boats over them every year. So there are certain places where these pilings are safety issues. And since you're the guys that are in control of the safety on the river, then I would think you'd have, if pointed out, you'd have some obligation to remove them.
Sure, and have you pointed these out to Nick Snyder, Director?
We've been told, well, I don't know, Nick, we've pointed them out to the sheriff. And the answer is you can't remove them because the land management won't let you. Seems like there's a vehicle here. Okay.
Right, but without going through every single detail of the MOU, I would suggest call Nick Snyder and ask him that question and let him know where these dangerous pilings are and see if.
And what it reads like to me, Jim, is that we would remove them, but probably in consultation with the Department of Lands.
Yeah, we still have to
They seem to be granting us the authority, but I think at the same time, we'd have to get permission from them to do the work.
And then as a kind of a side deal, there's all these on the property next, in front of the new park, and then where the contractor's going to build apartments and all that along the river. There's a whole row of pilings, there must be 30 or 40 of them in the river. And the guy that's building is going to put 28 more houses on the river in front of, he's going to go ask for docks. And then somebody's going to have to remove those pilings. So.
Are you referring to the Atlas Mill site by any
Yes.
chance? Okay.
There's pilings in front of there, and adjacent to that, the private development property has tons of pilings in front of it. And I just, someone's going to have to approve that. I guess is that the land management that would have to approve that?
Yeah,
We can get in touch with Nick too. Is he still on?
No.
He's not. Okay. We'll get in touch with Nick. And
Because
get
we'd
back
like,
to you.
those are true issues that destroy people's boats.
Okay. We'll get back with you, Jim. Thank you.
All right. Is there any feedback from my letter to you? Are you guys going to consider anything?
If you're looking for no towing, not likely.
Well, there's 3 options there.
Yeah, you've got 3 options.
And you said
there.
you'd review it to see
Yeah.
what we're asking for is a review.
Yeah, I've read the letter. We haven't set up a meeting yet, but we will review it. We'll set up a meeting. We'll go over the options. But before we do anything, we have to get a report from the sheriff, from the Marine Division as to what actually transpired this year. We'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate your time.
Any other comments? Okay, so the time is now 2:36. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.